All right, we're here with Michele Woodhouse. She's running for Congress and she's from the great state of North Carolina. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So how are you enjoying CPAC?
Amazing, amazing. It's our first CPAC. It has been incredible. The energy, the enthusiasm, the speakers capped off last night with President Trump. And then of course we're looking forward to a great lineup of speakers today and Don Jr. coming this evening. So, you know, the hits just keep on coming. It's outstanding.
It's been a lot of fun, that's what I could say. It's been a little hectic at times, but certainly it's been fun. So you've been a lifelong business owner, correct?
Yes.
But now you're switching into politics. What made you decide to make that transition?
Yeah, so I worked in corporate America for about 25 years and a few years ago launched my own consulting firm, and I've been serving as a grassroots leader really within the party. I was a district chair, an activist. I worked for the last 30 years trying to get conservatives elected from the bottom of the ballot to the top. And over the course of the last few months, Congressman Madison Cawthorn, who I'd been his district chair, decided to make a move to a different district and called me and said, we need an America First candidate to step in Western North Carolina. Western North Carolina produces a lot of America First members of Congress. And so we stepped in to run, and we are so thrilled. And last night, President Trump's speech really was a call to all the true America First candidates, true conservatives, to step in and start running for office, whether it's your school board all the way to the top of the ballot.
Yeah, I want to touch on the America First idea because you actually said that it's no longer really right versus left. It's those who love America versus those who hate America. I mean, for example, we had Tulsi Gabbard here.
Yes.
She's a Democrat, but I think it's hard to argue that she does love this country.
She does.
For all appearances. So could you break that down a little bit? Could you explain your observation in that now the new split, as you might say?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was so excited that she came to speak. I thought that was, when we saw that Tulsi had been added to the speakers list, I thought it was incredible.
With Glenn Beck of all people.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Wow. But I do think when we look at the America First agenda, I think for the 4 years that President Trump was in the White House, the left wanted to describe that narrative as racist or divisive. And I think what we saw, now we've had a little time under President Biden to take a step back and look at what is the America First agenda really about. We see it as peace through strength. President Trump noted this last night. I think to me it was the biggest takeaway of his speech, that he was the only modern day president under which Russia did not invade a country. We were able to have peace in the Middle East. We moved to Jerusalem, moved the
embassy. Yeah.
The embassy,
Yeah.
there we go, thank you. And we were able to see really great things happen under President Trump that weren't just about an American narrative, but we saw the implications of that across the world. Now we're seeing under President Biden an America Last agenda and the implications of that, not only here at home, but across the world.
Yeah, weak America makes for a dangerous world, essentially.
Yeah, it creates chaos, and we're seeing that right now. And the peace through strength leadership in the America First agenda with President Trump, I do think really did lead to a better America and a better world economy, and I think it led to great peace and strength.
Is there any policy issue that you're particularly passionate about that you'd want to bring to Washington to address?
Well, you know, I think when I look at what my constituents in Western North Carolina are most focused on, obviously getting our border out of the hands of the Mexican drug cartel, because we are seeing fentanyl deaths in Western North Carolina at record numbers. So we've got to get that border out of the hands of the Mexican drug cartel. It's controlled right now. It's just controlled by the wrong people, right? Obviously, the vaccine mandates and vaccine passports. People in North Carolina and across the country are tired of the mandates. They're tired of the fluid science that's going on. They're done with that. We obviously have got to get energy independent and dominant again. What's happening in Ukraine just will continue to remind us, when you become dependent on foreign oil, this is the situation that we're in. And I know in my congressional district, while we've been at CPAC, gas has gone up 60 cents a gallon.
Oh my goodness.
While we've been here.
I'm scared to go home
I know,
to see what the pump's going to be there.
Yeah, so, you know, I think those are big issues, and in our congressional district, what I hear on the ground all the time is people want Dr. Fauci investigated and prosecuted. But, you know, for me personally, the pro-life issue is the most important bedrock of my platform, because we are the party of life, and if we don't get that part right, all of the other issues that we talk about, all the issues that we've talked about and heard speakers talk about here at CPAC, if we don't get that issue right, none of those really matter. And I think we're going into a summer where we can see Roe v. Wade overturned.
Just gonna ask about
yeah,
this.
and that I think will be the issue in November. We're talking about a lot of things now with Ukraine. Is China going to make a move on Taiwan? What's going to happen in the South China Sea? We've got a supply chain crisis right now. If that happens, we'll see something that we've really never seen before from a supply chain standpoint. Foreign policies are problematic. I say Joe Biden's like a little kid that you take into a glass store and you say don't touch anything because you'll break it. And he just took a bat to the whole store and broke it all. But I had an opportunity to be up in D.C. on the steps of the Supreme Court for the Dobbs versus Jackson and to hear the arguments, but also to see busloads of Liberty University students, to see amazing young women there speaking out about in a pro-life, positive pro-life way. It was wonderful. And then we were back up for the March for Life in DC. And I really do believe that what we are going to see happen with the Supreme Court this summer will change the entire narrative as we head into the election.
Well, I really hope so. Yeah, that's what we're all praying for. And you, I'm assuming that your faith heavily impacts these policy ideas. Could you share us a little bit about your faith and how it informs your politics?
Absolutely. Faith is the filter by which I look at all things in my life. We begin each day with a devotional. I think as true conservatives, faith should be the guiding principle for all things. When I entered into this race, I said that the things that are most important to me is that my relationship with the Lord, my relationship with my husband, and my relationship with my children is stronger at the end of this as it is at the beginning. And, I had to me, one of the most beautiful moments on the campaign trail. The campaign trail is great fun. I had a man come up to me, put his arms around me and say, my wife and I pray for you every day by name.
Yeah.
But if you stop hearing the Holy Spirit, you moved, he didn't. And it was one of those just moments where you stop and you have chill bumps and you think, if we continue to use that filter and continue to repeat that mantra every day, I think it will not only impact the decisions that we make, but it impacts the way that we legislate, it impacts the way that we interact and serve, because we are called to be servant leaders. Any politician that is there as a politician is not there as a servant. We are called to serve. That's what the founding fathers wanted us to be doing, and so we'll continue with that effort.
And now this year's CPAC theme is Awake, Not Woke. And I asked Matt Schlapp himself, I said, what does the awake part mean? And he said that it's specifically referring to a great awakening, like a spiritual revival. And you have said that we're in a spiritual battle. So do you think that an awakening is on the horizon?
I do. This is spiritual warfare. What we're going through right now is spiritual warfare. It isn't, I often say this out on the campaign trail, it's no longer left versus right or Republican versus Democrat. These are people that stand for the flag or kneel. They love America or they hate America, and we really are in spiritual warfare. And if anyone sees it differently, I don't think that they're necessarily paying attention to the true darkness that we see from the left.